I realized that the way I talk to my students a lot of the times, if they make a mistake, if they forgot something, if they just couldn't quite get the song right, if they blanked out in a moment, if there was any so-called quote unquote shortcoming, the way that I would boost them up and keep them lifted in the middle of what they see as a little valley is the language I was saying to them was all the things I was waiting on somebody to say to me.
You're listening to I Have Given My Answer with Liz Gillum of E616 Consulting. If you're ready to take part in the conversations that give Black women the comfort, the community, and the confidence to live our lives freely, recognize our true worth, and embrace softness, and I know you are, then you are in the right place. I am your host, and you can join me each week as we talk honestly and authentically, freely, and in our own words. There is no one here to disappoint, no one here to judge, just Black women supporting other Black women. If you are ready for that community, then step into the right place. Hey everybody. So I'm so glad you're back to this week's episode of I Have Given My Answer. I really want to tell you a little bit about Kenya. She is our guest this week, and I love her title. She is the Chief Treble Maker. I love that title. She has her own piano and voice studio, and she introduces children to the magic of music and performance through kid-friendly, personalized music and vocal coaching programs. And she's going to talk about that in today's episode, and I'm really excited for you all to hear her because her philosophy on music and on life is just magical, and I think we all need it in our lives. So I'm going to let y'all hear from Kenya and not me anymore. Bye. Hey everyone. Hello, hello, hello. We are here with TaKenya Battle of Kenya's Keys. Hey, TaKenya.
Hey Liz, how's it going?
It's going really well. I'm so excited to get to talk to you. We talked a little bit, you and I, before we got started on this recording, but I love you and I love talking to you, and I'm really thankful that you're here. Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure. It really is. I love you too.
All right. So I have told the people a little bit about you, but I want you to have a chance to gas yourself up. Tell us a little bit more about you.
All right, let's see. Where do I begin? Let's see. I am an Army veteran. So not only have I blown holes in tanks, not only have I used weapons to blow holes in tanks, I can also write you a song about it. I can write you a song about it. I'm a classically trained vocalist and pianist who earned it honest in the Black Baptist church, where either my grandmother was saying, "Thank you, Lordy," because my fingers were finding their place, or she was saying, "Ooh, Lord, help her," because I couldn't get there fast enough. Black Baptist church don't play. You better hurry up and catch that song. I'm a published author. I've written 2 #1 bestsellers, and I'm a music producer. So I write music for your memories.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes, I wish y'all could see us. We're dancing.
Okay, we are, y'all.
I'm right here. And I'm really excited to have you. Kenya and I are fraternity sisters. And I've had another sister of ours, Soteria, was on here last month. And I really love how versatile we all are. But I also have known you in the capacity of being a parent of one of your students. And y'all, the way that she taught our students music was just, my child doesn't like to perform for anyone. And I would be in my office minding my business, but then I hear him in his room singing James Brown. And I'm like, well, now wait just a minute. What is the magic that is happening? So Kenya is, look, if you need lessons, if your kids need lessons, if your best friend needs lessons in just about anything, you need to talk to her. And I'm going to have all her info in the show notes because we support Black women and Black women businesses on this show. So I'm going to have all of her information in the show notes. But we're not here to talk about productivity. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about who we are as Black women and the things that we contribute. And I have just been so honored to love you and to be your friend and to be alongside you in this season of expansion for all of us, really, in this season of growth. And what is, what does that look like for you? What has been some of that coming into your own for you?
I think for me, this is a season of remembering who I have always been.
Mm-hmm.
This is a season of reclaiming the parts of me that I let sit on the shelf and get a little dusty and rusty. This is a season of elevation for me. This is a season of just standing in it. Just stand in it. Sometimes you got to stand up in it.
Yeah, you do.
Mhm.
That's where the good stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that is one of the things that I like to focus on in this space and in this community. But also just really with the Black women that I know and love. I think that we all gotta remember who we've always been and let's stand in that. There's so much outside interference that we can get often that will convince us to dampen who we are, what we know, and being able to see you. I think I messaged you last year and I was like, something's different. And I can see it and I like it.
That was the start of the glow up. The glow up started like about last June. My birthday is in June. I always like set deadlines for myself to do something by my birthday. So when I wrote my first book, I gave myself the deadline of my birthday to have it published and uploaded and ready for production. And I think last year, I said, I'm just going to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like for once in a long time, I'm just going to do something for me. And that started with me going to New York for a workshop that focused on it just gave us so much. Like regardless of what the focus was, it was somebody doing hair and makeup for me. It was somebody picking out clothes for me and doing styling. It was somebody taking headshots of me. It was all these people doing things for me. And I was like, well, wait a damn minute. I need some more of that in my life.
Yeah.
Instead of things being the other way around, I'm always doing for somebody else, doing for somebody else, doing for somebody else. Here, somebody's doing for me without the expectation of some level of reciprocity where I have to give up something of myself or something in myself in order to be able to receive. And that's when I was like, you know what? I need some more of that in my life.
Yes. And you deserve that.
You're
And
damn right.
It has been all over you. It's been really beautiful, like to see. And I'm telling you, I saw it then and I was like, I love that for her. And also, that is a magnetic glow. Like, I want to see how I can support that in her. And yeah, it's been really beautiful to see how that has manifested for you and how it has continued to magnify your mission and your presence and how you show up. You said having all those things done for you without expectation of reciprocity. And I think that's also really huge. And when we talked before you came on the podcast, you mentioned rather, how you want to pour into others the things that you want others to pour into you. And I feel like I know I can identify with that. It's kind of that there's that tweet that goes around. It's like, stop expecting you from other people. And I think so many of us as Black women experience that and feel that because we are trained and taught and expected to give and give and give and give and give. And we want somebody to look back at us and be like, you know what? You can have a seat today. I will give to you. And I just want more of that for us. So when you say you want you pour in the feelings that you want others to pour into you. I just want to give you a space to say more about that and what that sounds like, what that looks like, how that's manifested for you.
What came about, that statement came about as a revelation for me. I realized that the way I talk to my students a lot of the times, if they make a mistake, if they forgot something, if they just couldn't quite get the song right, if they blanked out in a moment, if there was any so-called quote unquote shortcoming, the way that I would boost them up and keep them lifted in the middle of what they see as a little valley is the language I was saying to them was all the things I was waiting on somebody to say to me.
Mm.
And I had to realize that actually came from my very first piano teacher. Now, my very first piano teacher was, if you imagined a white hippie woman, that's my piano teacher from fourth grade.
Okay. Yep. That's it.
Yeah, that's her. There she is. And she's teaching in this school setting where like almost everybody is Black and brown. Almost the whole school is Black and brown. And so she would stick out like a sore thumb, but she's the first person that I remember who didn't tell me no, I couldn't do something. She's the first person I remember telling me no. So when I took my very first piano lesson, I did not have a piano for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And there are teachers now who won't take a student because they don't have an instrument. So there are some teachers who feel like these students should be practicing on a Steinway level piano, when really your kids just want to play some I don't know, what do the kids listen to today?
Don't ask me, don't put me on the spot like that. I don't know.
They want to play. I have a student who wants to play Juice WRLD all the time. All right, baby, we're gonna rock this Juice WRLD.
Yes.
But some teachers won't let that student come on. I have another student who wants to play the theme from Spider-Man. Another one wants to sing one of the songs from Superman. I'm going into all these. They're looking to all these superheroes.
You speaking my language now.
I know that. And that the fact that my piano teacher didn't say, well, you know what, TaKenya, since you don't have an instrument, I won't be able to teach you anything. So sorry, thanks for coming. And I held on to that memory of Allison Hicks being the first person who gave me a yes when other people had given me no's. And that's like in fourth grade.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of my drive and passion comes from, I don't want to tell these other kids no. Before you say no, before you even get to the no, can we get to the person and find out what's going on with the person? So that makes me a very empathetic teacher, a very intuitive teacher, a very, I can see what's going on with them before they even say a word kind of teacher. So I can tell, like, this might be the day where I'm going to keep pushing this kid a little bit harder, or this might be the day where we just pull back and just laugh.
Yeah.
We'll just pull back and laugh, and that's totally fine.
I love that. And I think that I love what you said about thinking back to that teacher. It's that's an exercise I want to do. And in thinking back to what adult in my life was the first one to show me possibility. That's amazing to me. And I really want to think back to that. And so I'm going to sit with that for a little bit. And I think that's why I went into teaching pop culture. And when I started this company, I started teaching pop culture because there are ways to connect people with the things that they are attached to. So really, I love that you encourage your students to play what moves them, because that's a common language.
I need them to have more of that, because that keeps them here with me still learning.
Yes.
I can still teach them the classical way through the songs that they're interested in learning. And I feel like if you call yourself a teacher, if you calling yourself a teacher, you're going to find a way to get through to that student.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. And I feel like we don't do enough I can't say we, because Black women, we bend over backwards to meet people where they are. I feel like enough of that is not done for us.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of goes back to what you were saying, is that what we pour into others, we don't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we're direct, and of course not direct and being mean, but when we just, I want to talk about, when we're direct, we're seen as confrontational. When we are circumspect, and we're like, well, let me pause on that. Oh, so now you hiding from me? And it's like, well, wait just a second. You know, no one is trying to meet us where we're at, but we're trying to bend ourselves into pretzels to conform and meet people. And that's so, I find that to be incredibly frustrating.
Extremely frustrating, especially when you get you're too much. You're just too much. And I feel like if you're telling me I'm too much, then maybe you're not enough.
Correct. Go find less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go find less.
Just like, come on now. And I love what you're doing as far as bringing in everything Avengers related, everything in that whole multiverse universe. Don't get me started on it, because I don't know much about it. I just sit and watch. I sit and watch.
If I could, I would teach an entire semester on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think you really should. I taught, okay, now the way this class came about was I got 2 speeding tickets in one day. What had happened was, it was like Thanksgiving, and I was trying to get to my mom and daddy house because my daddy be making this ham. This ham is so good. I wanted my daddy's ham. Okay. And so it's me and the kids in the car, and we're like going on these back roads of Texas where like there's more cows than people in the city. And I got pulled over once, followed all the rules. And then I get on down the road and I got pulled over twice. And what resulted was I had to do community service. And so for community service, I decided to write a class about Into the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man movie with Miles Morales.
Yes.
I made a class centered around what makes you different is what makes you special. And so this is my community service, y'all. Like, I had a whole web page and everything where the kids had to walk through the different kinds of music that they like. They took this little personality assessment, which aligned with different people like these particular kinds of music. And the culminating activity, if I'm speaking in my teacher terms, the culminating activity was they had to write a song using the instruments that their personality was more likely to like. So all the kids walked out of there having written a song, their own personal theme song. Like, because if you know,
teach that class again. Like,
I think I should.
Yeah, how can we make that?
I think we can make that happen. Let's see, it's mid-February. We can do this spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to happen again, because I giving everybody the space to find the music, the instruments within them, and the instruments. Yeah.
Yeah. They had to write a theme song, their own personal theme song. Cause like Miles Morales had his own little theme. And then whatever the uncle's name, whatever Common played, the bad guy.
Uncle Aaron, the Prowler.
Yeah, the Prowler. Like, the Prowler had the Prowler's music. So like we were examining the music details about that instrumentation. And y'all, like, everybody left having written their own personal theme song in about an hour. That's what I do.
I'm just floored, because part of what I love so much about the MCU, and not just the threads and the common themes that go, but anybody who knows me knows I study the scores. Like, I've got this 8.5-hour playlist of scores from the Marvel TV and movies that I just listen to, and that's my study music. And then, so I've got Adam recognizing themes now in movies. So he'll be like, that's what played with Doctor Strange showed up in the first movie. That means he must be coming around the corner. And I'm like, yes,
that's it. That's like parenting on 10.
But the thought of creating a theme song and not taking a theme song that somebody else created, but creating your own with the instruments that make Yeah, I
What
love
makes you different is what makes you special. And that's what I honed in on. It was a recurring phrase in the movie. Each Spider-Man was a Spider-Man, but they all had a different thing. Multi-level, multi-layered. But that was my community service.
I mean, don't get pulled over
Yeah.
again.
I'm trying not to. I haven't been pulled over since, okay?
Hey, knock on wood. Knock on all the wood.
Not gonna lie.
But I just look at what that birthed, though. You know, I just there's no possible way you could be too much. Because look at what you bring to the world. And no one, we don't have to have a magnifying glass to see that. You are just a light of joy. And I'm hopeful that our listeners can hear that. You are just this beacon of wonder and joy and innovation and magic. And I'm excited that I get to gas you up on this international stage because you are incredible. And there is no way that you could be too much. It's not possible. Be more. Be more.
Be more. Be more. Do more. See more.
Yes.
And I've been intentional about putting myself in places that make me uncomfortable.
Mhm.
I'm comfortable behind my laptop, like we right here where we are right now. I'm very comfortable here. I am less comfortable in public spaces where the spotlight is on me.
Okay.
So this week I was the featured speaker for what's called Books for Lunch. So authors get up and they talk about their book for about an hour to a captive audience who's there for that specific purpose. I'm like, wow, like y'all are coming to hear me, like me. And the crowd was I think the median age was about 70, which is totally fine.
Okay.
And there's something to be learned in that because these people have been in this community for quite some time, and they probably know some people that I probably should know, who could help me out with some things. But doing that and talking about my book for a whole hour, I was like, I was really waiting on somebody to come out with the, like the little hook thing to pull somebody off the I was like, where, like, when are y'all not gonna make me be quiet? Oh, y'all want me to keep, like, they wanted more, like, and tell us more, and tell us more. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. And I think what floored them the most was I said, you guys, y'all may not believe this, but I'm really an introvert. I'm very much an introvert. And they're like, no, not you. You're always smiling and you're always, and I'm like, yeah, but this is me masking. This is me. Okay. This is me coming here because I know I'm the only Black woman here.
Mhm.
Every time I'm with y'all, I'm the only Black one here. I'm the only Black woman here. And I know y'all probably have some preconceived notions. And I don't want to play into any negative stereotype that they may have that causes me to behave a certain way. And that shouldn't be, but that it is what it is. So when I start letting loose and being more of myself, and I see that these people aren't running for the hills, I'm like, okay, I can keep doing this.
Please keep doing this because who you are is amazing. And those of us who have the privilege of knowing you are that much better for it. So please continue to be yourself and to be everything. Be more. Yeah.
Be more.
Be more.
Be more. This week's mantra, be more.
Be
Be
more.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. We're gonna end on be more, but before we end the entire episode, it's time for the ice cube. And for those of you who might be new, I know the people who have been here already know what the ice cube is, so they're expecting it. But for those of you who might be new, this is a little nugget of anything that our guest wants to say that you can either chew on or sit with, depending on how you like your ice. So, TaKenya, what is the ice cube you would like to leave for our listeners?
My ice cube for the listeners is to think a new thought. Think a new thought. Sometimes we get stuck because we're thinking the same old thoughts and those old thoughts no longer serve us. We can think a new thought. When we think a new thought, we can make decisions that move us to expansion. We can make decisions that move us to grow. We can make decisions that move us to more mightiness because we think a new thought.
I had to let that sit for a little bit. Dang. I will not be chewing on that one. That one's going to sit with me for a little bit. Ooh.
Yeah, let that one marinate.
Ooh, it gave me chills. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on this episode of I Have Given My Answer. I really appreciate you. I'm honored that you have chosen to share yourself with us in this community and in this space. I really am. Thank you.
Oh, Liz, I got you, girl.
Yes, thank you. And continue to be more. And if you are having difficulty with that, I'll be right behind you being like, be more. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode with TaKenya. I hope that you have gotten so much out of it. And I hope that you remember to not only highlight what makes you different, and that's what makes you special, but also, hell, remember to be more. Like, don't let people tell you that you are too much. If they do, then you go ahead and be more. If you want to continue the conversation, you already know the drill. Hop over to our Facebook group. I Have Given My Answer, the community, and we continue the conversation in there. If you have not already registered for the My Time, My Way challenge, that's next week, starts on Monday. So you can head over to our website at e616consulting.com/challenge, and that'll get you everything you need to know. It's a free challenge, so head on over there. And don't forget to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, Audible, Amazon Music, forgot my words there, but wherever you listen to this podcast, give us a rating, a review, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of I Have Given My Answer. This week's episode was produced by Oz Longworth Jr. of Longworth Media Solutions. We hope that you've been reminded that you are enough. Be sure to come back next week where we'll have another conversation to remind you just how wonderful you are. We here at E616 Consulting keep Black women grounded in love through community, comfort, and confidence. And we can't do that without you. We can't wait to hear how this episode touched you because we know it moved our souls. Sis, you are enough, and we love you for it.